Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Steve. It's been a while since I've done one of these streams. I apologize for that. I have been, before we dive into this silliness, I've been busy. I'm actually teaching myself, where is it? There it is. Mastering Fusion 360. I am going through this pretty thick book. I'm about halfway done teaching myself Fusion 360 so I can 3D print my own designs. It's a cool little hobby, and in all of my spare time I've been busy going through models in this book, which is really cool, and hopefully one day I'll be able to design really cool prints like this. This is a little castle dice roller thing. Drop the dice in here and then it comes down in this little tray here. I don't know, it's kind of cool. It's a fun little hobby. So I haven't made any videos in recent I don't know, the last 3-4 weeks or so. Apologize for that. Also, on a personal note, I'm going to be moving from Florida to Ohio. And so there's a lot going on in my personal life and that sort of thing. So I am going to be very busy in the next few months. With that said, I wanted to make a quick stream. And, if you follow politics at all, which I do, even though I hate politics, I watched about an hour and a half of the 2-hour debate this past week. And I'm not really going to recap this debate. I just wanted to give my thoughts on the media's sudden 180 as it relates to Biden's mental decline, and the fact that they're acknowledging it was pretty wild, because it was just a few weeks ago they refused to acknowledge and said, hey, he's sharp as a tack. And it is pretty wild that is happening, to say the least. Before I begin, I gotta say, I love this AI stuff. If I had more time, I would be putting stuff like this together. This made me laugh, so let's watch it.
Isn't that weird?
I think we're good drivers, but we have 2 licenses. And when we got our driver's license,
we each had to take the test.
we both passed.
This is so stupid.
When we drive, Barry is control of the gas and the brake,
And then we both steer
steer, obviously. And then I'm in charge of the clicker.
to the blinker.
So
It's so stupid. It is so stupid. I'm sorry. And then there's another one.
look, I'm not a young guy. That's no secret. But here's the deal. I understand how to get things done for the illegal aliens. I encourage the surge of illegals at the U.S. border. I would, in fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border. I got it done. You know how I know the border's wide open? I sent my girl Kamala to take care of it.
Do not come. Do not come.
I believe the job of the president is to fight for you, the foreign invaders, and that's what I'm doing. I'm a complete dipshit, and I approve this message.
All right.
Look,
I love this AI voice thing. I did put a video out early last year, using the AI voice thing of politicians. It's actually really fun to do, and it is crazy how good it works. All right. Anyways, this was just a few weeks ago before the debate. Biden was, and there's tons of these to choose from, but this is kind of what he was doing.
my administration is working around the clock to free the remaining hostages, just as we have freed hostages already. And here with us today is Hirsch Goldberg Poland, and is still, he is not here with us, but he's still being held by Hamas. And Rachel
Oh, this is so bad.
and John are here with us. Stand up, guys.
Oh, first off, he's mumbling through everything, and then he's like, here with us today. Oh no, actually they're being held hostage by Hamas. It's like, yo, man, good grief. It's embarrassing. And I want to say this was like a month ago, right? And then you have these goofballs like this guy. And again, I think this was about a month or so, maybe 2 months ago, Joe Scarborough was saying stuff like this. Listen to this.
But comparing that guy's mental state, I've said it for years now, he's cogent. But I undersold him when I said he was cogent. He's far beyond cogent. In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been.
He's saying this on live TV with a straight face. It gets worse.
Intellectually, analytically, because he's been around for 50 years. And, you know, I don't know if people knew this or not, Biden used to be a hothead. Sometimes that Irishman would get in front of the reasoning. Sometimes he would say things he didn't want to say. This is, and I don't really, you know what, I don't really care. Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever. Not a close second. And I've known him for years. The Brzezinskis have known him for 50 years. If it weren't the truth, I wouldn't say it. And you...
So, straight up lying. And their only justification for lying is that they hate Donald Trump. And this goes for the entire media establishment. Obviously, they can't acknowledge that Biden has lost it. And they're only doing that because any little criticism of Biden helps Trump. And they got to defeat Trump at all costs, right? So even to the point where this guy has no respect for his listeners. His audience, he doesn't respect them at all. And will just straight up lie to them. No wonder no one likes the media. You know, it's crazy. And then what's even crazier, again, this was not that long ago, and there's a million clips of Biden where it's obvious his mental decline is severe. Of course, we had the debate. Oh, this was kind of another clip. But, of course, we had the debate, and then all of a sudden, like that, the entire media establishment flips. And apparently it's okay to say that the emperor has no clothes, because that's exactly what happened. Why did I put this in here? I think I meant to put this on later. But, well, I guess this has to go to the fact that the media is lying.
Nobody thought
what did I say that was inaccurate?
Nobody thought the interviews I was doing with Andrew were news interviews.
Well, no one I know thinks anything on CNN is news.
By the way, if you missed this debate, dude, Dave Smith, this was very therapeutic debate about the COVID and that kind of thing with Chris Cuomo. And I mean, listen, no one I know, at least my age range, trusts the media, right? Now, there is still a contingent of folks who listen to Joe Scarborough and actually think it's news, which is sad, which is really sad. But that is quickly changing. So, anyways, I'm going to get into a tweet someone put later, but real quick, it's my understanding that this happened a day or so ago. Listen to this.
I know, like millions of Americans know, when you get knocked down, you get back up.
So he's trying to say that this is like his comeback story. Like, you know, I got knocked down, didn't have a good night, but we're going to get back up and fight. And Bob Murphy, who is awesome, I love Bob Murphy, says, this is amazing to me. It's not like he was in the ring with Apollo Creed. The Japanese fleet didn't sneak attack his naval base. Trump didn't knife him in the back before the debate. No, the get knocked down part was that he couldn't finish sentences. Exactly. This isn't like a one-time thing where, and this is, you know, the point of his tweet, it isn't like a one-time thing. No, this is like unfortunately, a life, he's going to have this condition the rest of his life, and it is not getting better. It's only getting worse. And it's happening right in front of our eyes. It's crazy. It's crazy. There's no way that the Democrats are going to have Biden on their ticket in November. There's no way. I don't know who or what they're going to do, but it's just not going to happen. And then, as a twist of irony, or I don't know what you want to say, in the middle of June, the White House put a proclamation on World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. I think they made it up, and said, hey, officially as of today, June 14th, this is World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. I kid you not, this is real. I went to the White House's website to verify that this was true and took these screenshots from it. Elder abuse comes in many forms. It can include physical or emotional abuse and neglect, sexual violence, or financial exploitation. These and other abuses can leave older Americans with scars, both visible and invisible, that impact them for the rest of their lives. They can happen anywhere, at home, at a care facility, at work, or online. And I might add, it can even happen in the White House to the President of the United States of America, because at this point, that's what it is elder abuse. And ironically, Joe Biden signed this thing. It's unbelievable, this timeline we're living in right now. So here we are, June 30th, right? The year's half over with. The election is in, 4 months, right? I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they are going to do. I saw this tweet, and I don't know who this guy is, Jeremy Carl, but someone retweeted this. And I thought it was worth getting into because I have some thoughts on it. There's a take on this debate I've heard from a lot of folks on the right that is tempting and understandable, but completely wrong. One that says that the Democrats knew Biden would bomb this badly and scheduled the debate early so they can move him out of the way. He thinks this is nonsense. Most of the people closest to Biden who would have been making these decisions are Dem apparatchiks, but more specifically, they're Biden apparatchiks. They wouldn't enjoy anywhere near the same power and access with his successor. For better or worse, their fates are tied to Biden specifically. Okay, that part's true. I agree with that, of course. They had the debate early because they knew that Biden was not in great shape. They had drunk the Kool-Aid and convinced themselves, at least to some degree, of the lies they had been telling for years to the American people about his mental state. I kind of half agree with that. There certainly are some folks that probably believe that. They thought that if they worked with the most favorable rules on the most favorable network with the most favorable moderators and gave Biden a full week to prep, they would be able to get through it. And even if they didn't win it, it would be far enough from the election that voters would ignore a mediocre performance. He says they were not counting on what a disaster it would be to have Biden fully unmasked 1v1 versus a competitor, a competent and energetic opponent. Yes, Biden's performance was such a disaster that it's tempting to think that this was all planned, but that's only if you ignore the levels of self-deception, lying, and magical thinking that have dominated the Democratic Party for years now. That's what was exposed on the debate stage last night. So, I disagree with him. I agree with him in the fact that there are those closest to Biden thought that he would get through this, and say he did a debate, and even if it didn't go well, yeah, I kind of agree with what he's saying. But the folks closest to Biden and his loyal supporters who would lose their status and lose their power if Biden lost, these are folks that are tied to them. That's kind of how it works. You have people that are loyal to Hillary Clinton, and when she didn't win the presidency, essentially their careers suffered, right? However, those are the folks that don't run the country ultimately. They don't have the power. Yes, they do have some power, but those are not the big players in the game. And let's go back to 2008. If you guys remember, and we only know this because of WikiLeaks documents, Citigroup chose Obama's 2008 cabinet WikiLeaks document reveals. If you remember this, essentially, Citigroup gave a list of its preferred candidates for cabinet positions in the Obama administration, and it almost exactly matched his eventual cabinet. So yeah, this was in an email to John Podesta, and it proved remarkably prescient. So then it goes through all the people that were in there, and they were listed in that email. So those are the folks that really run everything. And I think even they came to the realization that all things being equal, come November, with Biden's state, is that he's not going to beat Donald Trump. And these folks don't like losing, okay? Trump's victory over Hillary Clinton 8 years ago, they're going to make sure that that never happens again. And they're going to get someone in there who's not Joe Biden to stir up excitement and rejuvenate, re-energize the Democratic Party. I don't know who that's going to be. On paper, it should be Kamala Harris, but she's not very, people don't view her favorably. But at least she's mentally there and can form sentences and finish a thought, right? But anyways, so we'll see what happens with that. But again, there are folks, Biden's closest little inner circle are not the folks running it, is my main kind of point there. Now, I will say, despite me playing AI videos, poking fun at Biden, there is a part of me that feels bad for the guy. Just think if this was like a relative of yours, an elderly, your parents or, an older relative, and you see them struggling to finish a sentence. I mean, even if it wasn't in a televised debate, if you're just sitting around talking on the couch at home and they struggle to finish a sentence, I mean, obviously there's a part of you that's like, So I take no joy, really, in doing it from that perspective. But then you realize how evil this guy is. Now, listen, I've been trying to read the Bible every day. 1 Timothy 2 kind of struck a chord with me a little bit. Paul is writing to Timothy, and he says, I urge you, first of all, to pray for all people. Ask God to help them, intercede on their behalf, and give thanks for them. Pray this way for kings and all who are in authority, so that we can live peaceful and quiet lives marked by godliness and dignity. This is an instruction to Timothy, right? However, I think this is a good practice and ultimately an instruction to the church, to believers, that we should pray for those who are in authority. Why? So that we can live peaceful and quiet lives marked by godliness and dignity. So, my approach is, we can have fun pointing out that the emperor has no clothes, right? And there's nothing wrong with that as far as I know, as far as I think. However, on the flip side, we need to pray for these folks. I would say 95% of all these politicians, at least in the United States, are corrupt as all get out, immoral, terrible examples, evil psychopaths who love carnage, and they're only in it for power and money. I mean, that describes the government to a T, really. And, and I'm not over here saying my criticism's Biden. I'm not saying Trump is the solution to that either. He's maybe not as equally as corrupt, because if there was something really bad, I think they would have found it by now, but immoral for sure. And he's not the solution to all of our problems in this country. Regardless of who's president, we need to pray for them. And that is our command. Actually, it says to pray for all people, even your enemies, which is very difficult to do. Very difficult. So that's my thoughts on all of this, at least for right now. I do want to play a couple other videos. Well, this one's kind of inappropriate, but I'm pretty sure this was real. This is completely off topic, but it's my understanding this is real. And sometimes it's kind of hard to tell with I know there are deep fakes and AI stuff, but I'm pretty sure this was real. Check this out.
Tavares, right in the butt?
What?
No.
Pat Sajak's like, no.
Blake.
This is the best.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, one more time. Watch this lady was like, what?
Tavares, right in the butt?
What?
Look at this guy's face like, did I get it? Did I get it?
No. Blake.
This is the best.
This is the best. This is the best. Oh, that's too much. That is too much. All right, I'm gonna end on a wholesome note. Unlike that video, this dude's out there chilling with meerkats, and they're using his head as a little lookout thing. I don't know why. I love these little meerkats. Look at him on his hind legs out there, like, huh? Just looking for predators. It's so awesome. Look at them. They're so funny, dude. I think their little legs would get tired after a while. I'm not saying I would do this. They kind of freak me out a little bit, probably. But, yeah, they're little cute little animals. Look at them. On constant alert. He's got his head on a swivel. Alright, anyways. Do I have more? I do have one more. Alright, this is kind of a commentary on social media and TikTok. This went viral a few weeks ago on TikTok. At least, I mean, a lot of stuff goes viral, but it had a lot of views. You watch this, and then I'll provide my commentary.
Someone needs to take my Blackstone away from me. Everyone's getting new Blackstones, and they're looking so nice, and mine is just looking dusty, crusty, and rusty, so I was like, okay, let's just clean it up. I had the bright idea of sanding it down, starting fresh. I was gonna re-season it and get it all nice and clean. This was an all-day thing. I think getting all this crap off took me like 2 hours, and then the re-seasoning part took an hour. It was just ridiculous. And I'm not happy with my results. I didn't want to buy an electric sander, so I got this little drill attachment, and I thought it was going to be perfect. Yeah, that was a huge fail. It did not work very well, and it was just really hard to use. I should have took my butt back to Lowe's and got a sander, but I didn't. I was lazy, and I was like, okay, we're just going to make it work. After I got the majority of the crap off my Blackstone, it was time to re-season it, and I think I did like 6 or 7 layers. I literally stopped counting because it was just so many. Is there a way to just buy a whole new Blackstone topper and not the whole grill? The edges look like a Hot Mess Express, but I will say the middle looks good. How do I fix these edges? I just cannot stand the way it looks.
So, I mean, of course, everyone was giving her the business in the comment section. Like, what are you doing? Like, she straight up ruined her grill here. And so, but then it got me thinking, like, man, they're getting really good at social media to intentionally put stuff out there to go viral. At least this is what I think. Because there's no way she was this dumb to go and just ruin this thing and pretend that she was resurfacing it or fixing it or whatever. But it was just so outrageous that, you know, people just couldn't help but to comment on it and then share it. And, you know, it went viral, right? So it's actually pretty clever. Now, the trade-off is you're making yourself look like an idiot, I suppose. But maybe she's having the last laugh because this thing got millions of views on TikTok and she's probably raking in a decent amount of money from it, as well as follow-up ones. Enough to buy a new one of these. So, you know, I'm trying to be more cognizant of these videos I'm seeing on social media and not to be manipulated by them. But I gotta say, that was pretty clever of her if that was her intention.
Someone needs to take.
All right. Anyways, that's all I got for you today. So, like I said earlier, the next couple months for me is going to be pretty crazy. I'm going to be moving from Florida to Ohio, and so I have a lot going on. I'm also teaching myself CAD so I can 3D print stuff, so that's taking up all of my free time. But yeah, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to do these that often. We shall see, but it is going to be an interesting political year, and of course I'm going to keep up on what's going on there. So it is going to be an interesting year. I love the fact that we have AI and there's going to be a lot of funny videos, so part of me can't help but to look forward to the craziness of this upcoming election. Anyways, hope you're all doing well. God bless. Take care and have a great night. See ya. Bye.